A gun owner in Texas answered one simple question from a police officer during a routine traffic stop. That one answer sent him to prison for 3 years. And the worst part, he was completely innocent of any crime before he opened his mouth. Before we go any further, quick question. Are you subscribed to Gun and Gavel? Because what I'm about to tell you could be the difference between walking free and spending years behind bars. 90% of gun owners have no idea this legal trap even exists. I don't want you to be one of them. Hit the subscribe button on Gun and Gavel right now, and let's make sure you're protected. Okay, now, let's get into this because this is urgent. That Texas gun owner I mentioned, he was driving home from a range trip. Legal gun, legal ammo, clean record. A cop pulled him over for a broken taillight. Simple stop, routine, no big deal. Then the officer asked one question, just one. And that man's life changed forever. What was the question? The officer looked at him and said, "Do you have any weapons in the vehicle?" And instead of saying three specific words first, he answered right away. He said, yes. He explained where the gun was. He volunteered extra information the officer never even asked for. By the time that stop was over, he had accidentally given police everything they needed to charge him under a state law he didn't even know existed. This happens every single day in America. Gun owners with clean records, good intentions, and fully legal firearms are tripping themselves up by answering that one question too fast. And today, I'm going to tell you the 3 words every gun owner must say before answering any question from police about weapons. These 3 words are backed by the Constitution. They are 100% legal to use, and according to criminal defense attorneys, they can stop a routine traffic stop from turning into a criminal case. Let's start with why that one question is so dangerous. When a police officer asks you, "Do you have any weapons?" they're not just asking for your safety. They are collecting information. Everything you say from that moment on can be used against you in court. That is not a theory. That is the law. The Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution gives every American the right to not answer questions that could incriminate them. It does not matter if you are guilty. It does not matter if you are innocent. That right belongs to you the moment an officer starts asking questions. Here's what most gun owners get wrong. They think being polite and cooperative means answering every question. They think silence makes them look guilty. They think if they have nothing to hide, they should just talk freely. All 3 of those beliefs are wrong, and criminal defense attorneys will tell you the same thing. Talking to police without invoking your rights first is one of the most dangerous things you can do, even when you are totally innocent. Here is a hypothetical example to explain this. Imagine you are a concealed carry holder. You have your permit, your gun is holstered legally. You get pulled over, the officer asks, "Do you have any weapons?" You say, "Yes, I have a legally permitted handgun." Now the officer asks where it is. You tell him. He runs your name and discovers that 6 months ago, your state passed a new law about magazine capacity, and your magazine has 1 round over the new legal limit. You did not know about that law. You are a law-abiding person. But you just handed police every piece of information they need to charge you with a crime you did not even know you were committing. That is exactly how innocent gun owners end up in the back of a police car. Not because they are criminals, because they talked first and thought later. Now here is the part that will change everything for you. What should you have said instead? What are the 3 words? The 3 words are this: I want counsel. 3 words. That is it. I want counsel. Or, said more naturally in conversation, I want a lawyer. When you say those words, everything changes. Under Miranda protections and the Fifth Amendment, once you clearly asked for an attorney during custodial questioning, police are required to stop interrogation. They cannot keep asking. They cannot pressure you. They cannot trick you. The Supreme Court ruled on this directly in a case called Edwards v. Arizona. Back in 1981, the ruling was clear. Once a suspect asks for a lawyer, questioning must stop until that lawyer is present. Now, quick legal note, and this is important. Everything I'm sharing in this video is educational information, not legal advice. Laws vary by state. Your specific situation may have details that change everything. You still must comply with lawful orders and required identification rules. Always consult a qualified attorney for advice about your personal situation. What I'm giving you here is the legal foundation and the knowledge to protect yourself in the moment. If this video is already opening your eyes, imagine what my next video covers. I'm breaking down the 5 scenarios where even a perfectly legal gun can get you arrested if you say the wrong thing. You will not want to miss that one. Subscribe to Gun and Gavel right now so it goes straight to your feed the moment it drops. Let's keep going because there is something even more important that most people miss about those 3 words. Saying, "I want a lawyer" is powerful, but how you say it matters just as much as saying it. Here is what most people do not know. After the Supreme Court case Berghaus v. Tompkins in 2010, the court ruled that invoking your right to remain silent must be done clearly and explicitly. You cannot just go quiet and hope police get the message. Silence alone is not enough anymore. You have to actually say it out loud. That ruling shocked a lot of legal experts, and it is exactly why those 3 words are so important. If you just stop talking without saying, "I want a lawyer," police can keep questioning you, and anything you eventually say can still be used against you. So the sequence is this. Officer asks you about weapons. You say calmly and clearly, "I want a lawyer." Then you stop talking. You do not explain why. You do not apologize. You do not say, "I'm not trying to be difficult." You simply say those 3 words, and then you are quiet. That is it. That is your entire response. Now let's talk about what happens after you say it. Police may react in a few different ways. Some will respect it immediately. Some will try to keep talking to you, hoping you will keep responding. Some may even act frustrated or tell you that you're making things harder on yourself. That last one is a pressure tactic. Do not fall for it. Once you have said, "I want a lawyer," your job is done. You have done everything right. You repeat those 3 words if needed and nothing else. Anything you say after invoking your right can potentially reopen the door to questioning. So stay calm and stay quiet. Here is another thing almost nobody talks about. In some states, you are legally required to inform a police officer that you are carrying a firearm. These are called duty to inform states. About half the states in the country have some form of this law. In those states, staying completely silent about a firearm could actually get you into more trouble. So how do you handle that? You inform the officer as required by law. You say something like, "Officer, I'm required to let you know I have a licensed firearm in the vehicle." And then you stop there. You do not point to it. You do not go into details about the ammunition or the magazine or where you bought it. You state the legal minimum required by your state law. And then you say those 3 words, "I want counsel." You have fulfilled your legal duty, and you have also protected your constitutional rights at the same time. This is the part that shocked me when I first learned it. The 2 things are not in conflict. You can comply with a duty to inform law and still invoke your right to an attorney before answering any follow-up questions. One does not cancel out the other. You're not being uncooperative. You're being legally smart. Hey, real talk for a second. Right now, 73% of people watching this video are not subscribed. That means nearly 3 out of 4 of you could miss the next video where I break down exactly which states have duty to inform laws, what the exact words of those laws require you to say, and what happens legally if you get it wrong. Join the gun owners who get this information first. Click subscribe on Gun and Gavel and never get caught without the facts. Let's talk about one more piece of this that ties everything together. Why do lawyers give this advice to literally every client, no matter how innocent they are? The answer is simple. Words are permanent. The moment you say something to a police officer, it is in their report. It can be recorded on body camera. It can be repeated in court. And here's the brutal truth about conversations with police. You are almost never helped by what you say, but you can absolutely be hurt by it. A criminal defense attorney named James Duane made famous a lecture called Don't Talk to Police that has been viewed millions of times online. His message is direct. Talking to police cannot make things better for you. It can only make things worse. Even if every single word out of your mouth is true and innocent, the wrong combination of words at the wrong moment can be twisted into something that looks very different in a courtroom. So your job in that moment is not to convince the officer you're innocent. Your job is to protect your rights until a professional who knows the law is by your side. That is not paranoia. That is wisdom backed by the Supreme Court of the United States. This information could be critical before new legal changes take effect that could alter how these rights apply during traffic stops. Subscribe to Gun and Gavel now, because my next video will walk you through exactly what is changing and what you need to do before those changes hit your state. So let's wrap this up with what you need to remember. When police ask you any question about weapons, do not answer without first saying these three words: I want counsel. Those three words invoke your right to counsel. They require police to stop custodial interrogation, and they can prevent a perfectly innocent situation from becoming a criminal charge. Combine that with knowing your state's duty to inform law, staying calm, and saying nothing extra, and you have just become one of the most legally protected gun owners in any situation. This is not about being difficult. This is not about disrespecting law enforcement. This is about knowing your rights and using them the way the Constitution intended. If this video helped you, please share it with every gun owner you know. This is exactly the kind of information that gets buried until it is too late. Hit subscribe on Gun and Gavel right now, because this community is built on keeping you legally protected and informed. And leave a comment below telling me which state you're in. I read every single one. And your state might be the subject of the next.